Haribol, Hare Krishna, very happy to see all of you. Would you be kind enough to put on your videos, because I've tried hard and put on my video so that I can see your bright gleaming faces, the faces of devotees who are trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita. I will highly appreciate it. And I will be more enthused to speak to a screen full of faces than to speak to a screen full of titles. I'm sure you.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Haribol. Om Tat Sat. Thank you for your patience. I really had some technical problem and I think Krishna has solved it. We hope and pray that everything goes fine. Today we are going to go ahead and open up the 15th chapter of the...
Chapter 15, verses 1 to 7.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I like that youthful, powerful response. Right. So today we are opening up with chapter 15. And you know, all of you, you went through chapter 14. Here is a brief, quick summary of it. And in chapter 14, you will see Krishna start in the beginning, declaring himself as a seed-giving father. And he declares how people are coming into this material world, how the souls are coming into this material world. He says that he impregnates the material nature. And then from there, according to the modes of material nature, so many living entities come out in different shapes and sizes, according to the karma and gunas affecting them. Then Krishna goes and describes that thing called gunas, how it is so powerful. And he gives detailed description of the sattva, rajas, tamas gunas. You're able to hear me? Okay.
Yes, Maharaj.
Detailed description of the sattva, rajas, and tamas gunas. And that's a lot he gives. And then he also gives how you can get out of the ruling of these gunas by surrendering to Krishna. And he says, if we don't surrender, mama maya duratyaya, it will be very difficult, almost impossible for you to get out of it. It's a deadly prison house. And we don't know about it, but we sit in the prison house and we think we are doing great things, but actually we are constantly prisoners. And we have come to know about it by Krishna's mercy. Then we were able to sort of understand the relationship between Krishna, Prakriti, material nature, which holds us, and the conditioned souls that we are. We derive some sort of an understanding. And then Krishna goes and again praises Bhakti Yoga and his devotee who can understand how these modes are holding us together. It's very difficult for others to understand. And in the in the next chapter, he opens up very beautifully. It's a very famous chapter. It's something like the 12th chapter that we did. It's very sweet and very nice to chant it. So I'm going to chant it along with you today. Please open up the 15th chapter. It's only 20 shlokas. We can finish within 3-4 minutes if you all focus. And it's got a very nice meter. So normally most people learn this by heart, the 12th and 15th chapter. This is the 15th chapter, okay? Right, so here we go. If you have got the book in front of you, it's nice. We can read the shlokas in no time. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Urdhvamulam Adhashakam Ashvattam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved Adaschodvam Prashutastasya Sakha Guna Prabridha Vishaya Pravala Adhascha Mulanyanu Santatani Karmanubandhini Manushya Loke Narupam Asyeha Tatopalabhyate Na Anto Na Chadir Na Satam Pratishta Ashwatham Yenam Suviruda Moolam Asanga Shastrena Dridhena Chitva Tatapadam Tatparimargitavyam Yasmin Gatana Nivatanti Bhuyah Tameva Chadhyam Purusham Prapadye Yata Pravriti Prashrita Purani. Nirmana moha jita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvandvair vimuktah sukha dukkha samajnair gachanti amudha padamavyayam tat natad bhasayate suryo nashashanko napavakah yadgatva nivartante tadhamam paramam mama Mamaivamsho jivaloke jivabhutas sanatanah manah shashtanindriyani prakritisthani karshati shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati ishwarah grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat Shotram chakshuh sparshanam cha rasanam ghranameva cha adishthaya manaschayam vishayan upasevate utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshusha yatanto yoginaschainam pashyantatmanyavastitam yatantopyakritatmano nainam pashyanti acetasah yadadityagatam tejo jagadbhashayate akhilam yatchandramasi yachagnav tattejo vidhi mamagam gamavishya cha bhutani dharayami ahamojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarvah Somo bhutvo rasatmakah aham vaishvanaro bhutva praninam dehamashritah pranapana samayuktah vachami annam chaturvidham sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam abohanam cha vedaischa sarve ahameva vedyo Vedanta krit vedavid eva chvaham Dvavimau purushau loke ksharascha akshara eva cha Ksharah sarvani bhutani bhutasto akshara uchyate Uttamah purushastva anyah paramatmeti udahritah Jo lokatrayam avishya bhivarti avyaya ishwarah Yasmat ksharamati toham aksharadepicho uttamah ato asmi loke vedecha pratitah purushottamah yo mamevam asammudho janati purushottamam sasarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata iti guhyatamam shastram idamuktam maya nagha Etad buddha buddhiman syat kritakrittascha bharata. Om Tat Sat. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Shu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Purushottama Yoga Nama Pancha, what is it? 15? 15 Adhyaya. Okay. That's a shortcut I can think of. So thank you very much for joining and being part of that beautiful discussion. I mean, beautiful chanting. First thing is Krishna is giving Arjuna, you know, in the beginning of the 14th chapter, he said, the material world I impregnate. And in the 15th chapter, he starts off telling, what do you think is the material world, the place where we're staying? He reflects it analogically to a banyan tree. Urdhvamulam adashakam. Shaka means branches. Moolam means roots. Urdhvamulam adashakam. In this, the roots are up and the branches are down, which means it's obviously upside down. Because we are upside down people in this material world, everything upside down looks perfectly all right for us. But basically, the whole world is upside down. And we are upside down guys. And only if it is upside down do you feel normal. Because that's the nature of our understanding of reality. It's an upside down world completely. Very different. So from Shlokas 1 to 5, Krishna describes this amazing banyan tree. So the first translation reads, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So Krishna is saying, in the 15th chapter, Krishna will say, Vedaisya sarver ahameva vedyaha. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. This banyan tree is supposed to be like the Vedas. And one who knows this banyan tree will get to know Krishna. One who knows this Vedas will get to know Krishna. Right? So this banyan tree, but the problem is, it's like upside down and it's very intricate. So we are basically learning that reality is elsewhere, but we are situated in the illusion. And the illusion is like an upside down banyan tree. It's a material world. It's a world of death, birth and death. It's not there in the spiritual world. You don't die, you're not born in the spiritual world. You're eternally existing. But in the material world, snip, snip, somebody keeps completely cutting off your life now and then, and you're reborn, you're reborn, you're reborn, you're reborn. It's never possible to, continuously see yourself. It is like, you're watching a movie and somebody keeps saying cut, and you come back again to the first portion. And by the time you go for some time, cut, again, come back to the first portion, again, cut. And each time you see some differences in the scenes, but more or less it's the same. You repeatedly never complete the movie. You repeatedly come and see portions and bits of the movie, and it gets very frustrating. But if a person really knows this is what's happening to you, that every time there is birth, death, punaripi jananam, punaripi maranam. You must understand what's the meaning of this. You're never allowed to continue the life the way it is. It can never. So somebody is repeatedly coming and saying, sorry, ha, 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 and giving you a stop. You die, and everything is rewound again and start all over again. And then you think, it's going on good. I'm 30 years old, I'll make it. I'm 40 years old, I'm settled down, very good. It's all going to be fine. I'm 50 years old and I'm sick. I'm 60 years old, I'm not dying. Again, again and again and again and again. You're being ragged. You're being ragged. You're never allowed to finish life. So material world is designed for punarapi janaram, punarapi maranam. But the opposite of that in the spiritual world is no birth, no death. You exist in eternality. There is no disturbance at all. That's the way you want to go in life. No disturbance. It goes from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other, and keeps going. So all of them are exciting events. And they're very enjoyable. And that's how we actually are supposed to live. And that desire is there in us because we have lived that before. So material world is temporary and all sorts of crazy things happen in it. So that's why the study of the material world is very important. This is can you see my screen? Are you seeing an inverted banyan tree and a pond in it?
Yes, Maharaj.
Just to make sure that Maya will play some other tricks here. While I'm showing illusion will attack. So I'm just being careful. The banyan tree, the material world, is a perverted reflection of the spiritual. That you must understand first. That's the reason why Krishna is explaining the material world with a brilliant analogy by saying that, where you're living is in the reflection. And it's like inverted banyan tree. And inside that, you can gain knowledge and reach up to the root. And that's the whole thing is the Veda. Only if you follow the scripture, that's the only way you can come to the reality, the truth, the understanding of the spiritual. And it's not so easy to go through that. It's complicated. So he describes that tree. Urdhvamulam atashakam ashwattam prahurabhyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedavid. And here I've marked for you some of these things that Krishna is describing. Right? You will see here that this tree is nourished by the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance, sattva, rajas, tamas. Right? And the roots, they grow upwards actually the roots upwards is described as Brahmaloka. Secondary root grows downwards, that is the Bhuloka, right? And attachment and aversion are two of the main characteristics of this tree. Is bound by fruitive actions by human society. These are all characteristics of this tree. The branches, the leaves are Vedic hymns, the twigs are sense objects, the tips of the branches are the senses. Very interesting, actually. And the fruits are Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So in this way, entire thing happening in this world and this design is represented by this reflection tree. And this fruits are Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That's what you can pick and eat. Everybody is busy eating Artha and Kama mostly. Nobody is eating much of Dharma and Moksha nowadays. It's Kali Yuga. Everybody picks the fruit of Artha and Kama only. The Dharma and Moksha, they say, leave it. We are not interested in religion, not interested in liberation either. So these are the fruits. Those who know Varnashma will actually go for Dharma and Moksha mainly and pass through Kama and Artha. It's marked here as karma, it's Kama. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Kama means all your desires. Then the living entities, what does he do? The Atma, he hops from one branch to another, trying to taste the fruit of this fruit, that fruit. Can you imagine a bird, one of these twittering birds, jumping from one branch to the other and trying to taste the fruit, the flowers, and etc. And everything is opposite. Up is down and down is up. Can't see how far the tree extends or where it goes. It's too huge, too enormous, and too vast. So although living entities are external fragmental parts of Krishna, they are struggling with the senses. They are all situated on this tree, hopping from one branch to the other. They're struggling with their senses, driven by the modes, and trying to discover what this whole tree is about. And some scientists will try to find out where is his roots going, what is the reality, and that's in this way they remain lost in this tree. So that tree is what Krishna is describing. Adas chodvam prashrutas tasya shakha. In the second shloka, the branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and they are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. In this way, this illusory tree, this reflection tree, is being described, and we are situated inside there. Please reflect for a moment why it is described, not simply as some point of theory, not as information alone, but you are the person being described, and it is your location being described. It is a GPS. This is where you are situated. You are a bird in that tree, twittering, hanging around, jumping from one branch to the other. It's a GPS. Maya is a GPS Mataji. When you normally go in your car, you will say, that Mataji will come and talk. I call her the GPS Mataji. She works very hard. She gives her all her directions very nicely. So here is the whole tree is like a GPS. Where are you situated in this whole creation? You're hopping around on the illusory tree in this particular world, in this particular instance, in this particular planet. There are millions and trillions of planets and galaxies and everything. But your space coordinate, your GPS, you can find here in this place, in this Chaturmukha Brahma universe. Like that, this is where you are situated, whether you like it or not. And from the purport, I've gathered these things for you. You will see this banyan tree, which I'm moving around here for a bit for fun now. The entanglement of this world is compared here to the banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, there is no end to the banyan tree. You mean, if you're looking for fruits, you keep jumping over from one branch, falling up, down, here, there, everywhere. You don't know where it ends, where it begins. It's like a very vast. Fruitive activities means being a karmi. I'll do some action, I'll get some fruit. I'll enjoy that fruit, I'll do that action again, I'll get that fruit. It's like getting conditioned to action and reward. Activity and reward, activity and reward. So this is called a karmi, person who is karma oriented. Right? But Krishna is advising that narupam asyeha tatopalabhyate na anto na chadi na chatam pratishta ashwatam yenam suvirudamulam asanga shastrena dridena chitva. That's what is the most important thing. If you go to shlokas 3 and 4, you'll say ashanga shastrena, by the weapon of detachment, dridena, strong, chitva, cutting. You can cut down this tree only by one weapon. That weapon is detachment. Ashanga sastrena dridhena chitva. Tatapadam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyah. So it says here, one must cut down, but with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with a weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that supreme personality of Godhead from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatha pravriti prashruta purani. So, main thing here, the weapon which you are asked to use is detachment. Detachment means, okay, forget it. And detachment is easier when you have developed vairagya, that you have understood by knowledge what is matter and what is spirit, what is permanent and what is not, and what is value and what is not. And because of that knowledge, empowerment, you're able to say, forget it. It's okay. I can cut myself this attachment. So this is the real weapon. And the opposite of the detachment is, it's not enough if you just detach. You should replace that detachment quickly by attachment to the transcendental service of the Lord. That's very important. Otherwise, your detachment will not last. There are many people who simply practice forced detachment, but they won't last in that for too long, unless they take up attachment to the devotional service of the Lord. That's a secret here. It's not standalone detachment. It is attachment attachment to the Supreme Lord coupled with detachment. They both go hand in hand together. And then it says in the fifth point, the tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree of the spiritual world that we heard. The purpose of the study of this tree and knowledge is to understand the absolute truth, Krishna. So therefore, one who is in Krishna consciousness, who is engaged in devotional service, already knows the Vedas. This is a shortcut. If you engage in devotional service, you already get to know what the tree is, right? You must cut down this reflected tree and attain the real tree of the spiritual world. That's what is mentioned here in the third and fourth shlokas. It's a little garbled, this message, all the bulleting and all is wrong, but don't worry. This is the main thing. So, nirmana moha jitasanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha dvandvair vimuktaha sukadukka samagyer gachanti amudha padamabhyayam tat. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who unbewildered know how to surrender into the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. So there is a lot of interesting conditions laid for this. If you want to get to the real tree, if you want to get to the absolute world, we are in the relative world, in the material world, the world of birth and death, the world of illusion, the world of the reflective tree. If you want to get to the real tree, the real existential tree, then it says that you must be free from false prestige. Nirmana moha. Mana and nirmana. Right? Abhimana, mana, you know all those things. Nirmana moha. The illusion of false prestige. That you must give up. You know what's false prestige? Thinking great about yourself. Thinking that you're very, very, what do you call, important. And you're the center of the whole focus of everybody. And you don't like that to be hurt by anybody. false prestige. Real prestige means I am deriving my importance from my connection with the Supreme Absolute Truth. That is real prestige. That is real ego. Everybody has ego, but that ego, when it becomes contaminated by the modes, it becomes false ego. Means you start to think upside down. You forget your spirit soul. You think you're this body, and you will look at the material possessions you have of talents, of good looks, of money, of position, of good family and good education and all that as being your identity. So therefore it's called false. That is not your real identity. And if you're taking that and feeling great pride, then your prestige is false. But rather, if you feel pride that I am a devotee of Krishna, I am a part and parcel of Krishna, then that is real ego. And that is your identity. And that is good. So give up the nirmana moha, jita sangha dosha, that association. It's mentioned here, false association. You know, in this material world, everybody you associate with is lost in this illusion of thinking that I am this body and this material world is real. So if you take those people's sangha too much, you will not be able to remain spiritually active. You will not be able to remain focused on the absolute, the truth. You will get disturbed. So it says here that you should give up false association. Jita sangha dosha means overcome false association. Then who understands the eternal, who are done with material lust, who understands eternal, like I explained to you, material world, dualities, temporary, and you know there's something eternal, there's an eternal kingdom. One who understands that, then he has a chance to go back to that eternal kingdom. Then done with material lust, who are free from the dualities of happiness and distress. Kama, adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha, who has given up a desire to enjoy matter. That's called kama. Dvandvair vimukta. Dvandva means two. Dvandvair vimukta means the illusion of duality. What is the meaning of that? Everything in this material world is based on a duality. Black, white, one, two, night, day, bad, good, strong, weak, tall, short, like that. All these are dvandva moha. You become free from dvandva moha. Everybody is swung by these polarities from one extreme to the other. If it is bad, it must be good. If it is good, it is not bad. Like that. But actually, this is one type of illusion. That's a deeper topic. We cannot discuss that in great detail now. But it's called dvandva moha. Those who do computer science will know that everything is digitized as per two entities, 1 and 0. It's based on the dvandva moha. 1 positive, 0 negative. So the whole data analysis and determination and the working, digitization is based on 0 and 1. There's a scientist called Claude Shannon, who's the first person who's known, very famous for this. He's the one who created machines, digitizing and machine performance, algorithmic writing of programs and all that, how it can be done. So he cracked it. It's based on duality, based on 1 and 0. So like this, being free from dualities of happiness and distress. If there's happiness, and then there's distress, from one side to the other, it swings. In this way, those who are unbewildered, who are steady, and they know how to surrender into the Supreme Person, right? Such people are fit to go to the spiritual realm. Now, this is important for us to know. These are the conditions mentioned if you want to get out of the temporary reflective world and go into the permanent spiritual world. So the 15th chapter starts with this, right up to shlokas 1 to 5. And then there is a description of what that loka is. Natad bhashayate suryo na sasanko na pavakaha yad gatvana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Okay, Dheeraj, can you read the translation?
Yes, Maharaj. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world.
Jai. So who wants to go there, please? Anybody interested in going there? Elon Musk is taking people to some planet, SpaceX and everything. Krishna is telling her, I will take you to such a place, you don't have to come back. You don't need Elon Musk's trip. You won't be coming back here at all. It's only one-way trip. It's a complete one-way trip. And most people will possibly say, no, I have to come back. My child is there. My money is there in the bank and my gold is there. My property is there. My position is there. And I have to come back. So those who want to come back and go on Elon Musk's trip, also it's very costly. But Krishna is offering a free trip, a one-way trip. You don't have to come back here again. And he takes you to the spiritual world. And it is a billion times more enjoyable than this. Right? So I suggest you take Krishna's program. He says, I have a place, that abode of mine. And there is no requirement for sun and moon there. Na sashanko, na suryo. Natad bhashayate suryo, na shashanko. I don't require the moon. I don't require the sun to lighten it up. Na pavakaha. And there's no electricity also required. And if you go there, yad gatva na nivartante, you don't have to return. Tad dhamam, that abode, paramam, is beyond mama, mine. So clear here that there are planets beyond this material world. And the topmost is Krishna's planet, that's mentioned here, Taddhama Paramam Mama. And Krishna is inviting you there. It is actually an invitation. Yad Gatvana Nivartante Taddhama Paramam Mama. If you come there, you don't have to come back here at all. You won't need to come back here at all. And you will like it so much that you will settle there for good. Many people go to the United States of America and don't come back to their country, because it's too good there. There's no dirt, there's no garbage, there's plenty of fresh air, there's nice water, there are very nice, huge buildings and comfort and beautiful roads and nice vehicles and forests and parks and mountains and scenery and clear water lakes and whatnot. It looks like heaven, Swargaloka. So once they go there, they say, my gosh, I don't want to go back. Because after 2 trips to India and back, they think, wow, I got a cough, I got sick, I'm not going back to India. I can speak always on Zoom and everything to my father, mother, every day. I don't need to go back. So many of them actually find good material reasons for not coming back. And the parents are also very happy. No, Kanna, you stay there only. It is very nice here. Here it is bad. You keep talking to me on Zoom. That is enough. Earn a lot of money. Enjoy nicely. But I am dying. Before you die, do all these things. You can't have any Bhagavad Gita to talk about. Nothing. I don't know. All I can tell you is enjoy as much as you can. Because one day you'll become old. You cannot chew. Your back will ache. You need a walking stick. And then your hair will fall down. Your teeth also will fall down. And then it's all horrible. So enjoy as soon as possible. As much as you can. Stay there only. This is their feeling. But people who have read Bhagavad Gita, they will say, I never wanted you to go there. Prabhupada's father said once, Prabhupada repeats that in a video, you can see it. He's holding the mridanga and there's a headphone on his head. He's in a recording studio. And then he's playing the mridanga and saying, you see, my father wanted me to be like this. He never wanted me to be a worldly man. He wanted me to be Radharani's servant. He wanted me to learn kirtan, bhajan, glorify the Lord, do puja, eat a little prasadam, speak the Bhagavad Gita, read the Gita, and be happy. Simple man. And Prabhupada said that there was a plan to send me to London and make me a barrister. Because he was from a rich family, actually. And then my father said, no, I don't want my son to do any of those things. I want him to simply be a servant of Radharani. And Prabhupada will write in the Bhagavad Gita, to my father Gaur Mohan Dev. Right in the front page, you'll see. Because of him deciding that I don't want him to go to these places. Today I am what I am, Prabhupada said. Because my father took a decision, I want my son to be like this. Right? So very rarely parents are going to tell their children, oh Kanna, please, my Ladlu, please, don't stay there, come back and hear Bhagavad Gita and chant Hare Krishna, be with me and become a devotee. That's all going to be very rare. Right? So Krishna is saying here, I know what will happen in this world. You please come off to my place. You have every facility that you're enjoying in its true format. And you will love it. Natad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. And why should I come back to your place? By the way, what's my relationship with you? What have I got to do with you? And why should I come there and stay there forever? So the next shloka in 7, he'll say, Mamaivam shajiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manah shashtan indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Very beautiful shloka. I'm going to ask Vijaya Rajan to read it. Vijaya Rajan, would you like to read that?
The living entities in this condition.
Yeah, you can see it on the screen, 15.7.
Yes, that's what I'm reading, Maharaj. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which include the mind.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So why should you come to my place? Because that is my house and you belong there. Mamaivamsha jiva loke. All living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts, my children. Actually, due to conditioned life, this is temporary life in the illusory reflected banyan tree. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind, but it is not permanent. It's only temporary conditioning. Right? So come back to me and you'll be very happy. And this is Krishna's statement here from 1st to 7 shlokas. This is where I want to stop today and reflect on it. Om Tat Sat.